hit that subscribe button, guys, for the truth and the whole truth. So, I had a few people telling me that, well, I'm kind of a hypocrite because I'm going around saying that Deontay Wilder is fighting Tyson Fury, and Tyson Fury has been inactive for several years, yet I didn't say nothing when Vladimir Klitschko fought Anthony Joshua, and Vladimir Klitschko was also inactive. Well, first of all, I never talked about Vladimir Klitschko versus Anthony Joshua because I hadn't even created my channel when that shit happened. So there's that explanation. Second, it's different when you're comparing Tyson Fury to Vladimir Klitschko. First of all, Vladimir Klitschko was not coming off a 3-year layoff, which Tyson Fury is. He was coming off an 18-month layoff. So right there, that's a big difference. 3 years compared to 18 months. That's a whole big difference. Second, Vladimir Klitschko is a guy who always kept himself in shape. You never saw Vladimir Klitschko fat. You never saw Vladimir Klitschko snorted out on crack. Tyson Fury is a man who admitted to being on cocaine. He admitted this. He said in an interview that during this time he was off, he was snorting crack. Tyson Fury gained about 120 pounds in these last 3 years. Tyson Fury has mental issues, right? This is a guy who I truly believe has bipolar. This is a guy who in the past 3 years would always say he's coming back, and then 2 weeks later he'll say I'm happily retired. And he did this about 3 times as far as I can remember. I remember making videos being pissed off at Tyson Fury because of the amount of times he would make videos. I mean, yeah, because he would post videos on his social media, on Twitter, on Instagram, saying I'm back. He would show videos of himself in the gym like he was working out. I'm back. And then 2 weeks later he'll post on Twitter, you know what? I accomplished everything I wanted to accomplish. I'm happily retired. So stuff like that would piss me off, and I would think to myself, what the hell is wrong with this guy? Is this guy bipolar? Why is he always changing his mind? So there was something mentally off with Tyson Fury during that particular time. Alright, so you cannot compare a guy who's, as far as I'm concerned, not on drugs, as far as I'm concerned, doesn't have no, or at least doesn't show no type of mental illnesses, and as far as I'm concerned, is always in shape, compared to a guy that has been extremely undisciplined, gained a lot of weight, been on drugs, and on top of that, was probably taking medications for his mental illnesses. All of this shit affects a fighter. The only thing that is different from Tyson Fury and Vladimir Klitschko was the age. The fact that Vladimir Klitschko was 41 and Tyson Fury is about 30 years old. So that's the only thing that is of significant. But the other things, like the discipline and how the long period of time that this guy's been inactive, that's very different. Now, before you start going around saying, well, Vladimir Klitschko was old when he fought, Anthony Joshua. Vladimir Klitschko was also old when he fought Tyson Fury. Tyson Fury, because he fought him just 18 months earlier. And if we're gonna say that Anthony Joshua fought an old Vladimir Klitschko and an inactive Vladimir Klitschko, well, I could sit here and say, Deontay Wilder fought a old Sergey Lihovlich who was coming off a 3-year layoff. Back in 2013, Sergey Lihovlich was retired, and he hadn't fought in 3 years, and he was about 39, 40 years old, and Deontay Wilder decided to cherry pick him in his 29th professional fight. And this was a guy who was retired, about 40 years old, hadn't fought in 3 years, and what did Wilder do? He did what he was supposed to do to an inactive 40-year-old fighter. He knocked him out in 1 round. That was that famous knockout where he looked like he was having a seizure in the ground. And it makes sense because when you're 40 years old and you haven't fought in 3 years, and some young big puncher cherry picks you, that's what's supposed to happen. You get what I'm saying? That's what's supposed to happen. I could also say the same thing about when Deontay Wilder cherry picked a 41-year-old, completely shot Ali Harrison. Oh yeah. And let's not even count Luis Ortiz, because we all know that Luis Ortiz is secretly about 47 years old. So if you're going to say that Anthony Joshua fought a 41-year-old old Vladimir Klitschko, you might as well say the same exact thing about Luis Ortiz, because we already know he's about 47 years old. Luis Ortiz. He might be older than that. So let's not even go there.